Good morning students. Good morning students. Today we are going to start the new chapter and the last chapter of the 7th class. That is nothing but forest our life. Forest our life. Here one story is given. Let us see. Pushpa stays at Adilabad. Her grandfather stays at a village near Utnur. So her father stays near the village Utnur. Try to locate these places in a map of Telangana state given in your atlas. So here you have the social studies map. So in that you have to locate. Next, Pushpa always visits her grandpa place during the summer vacation as grandpa owns a large mango orchard. So he has the mango orchard. So here she could feast on the juicy mangoes and feel the cool air at the orchard there. So she spent the time during summer season in the orchard and eating mangoes. On the way to grandpa's village, the beautiful views of thick forest always attracted her. She would ask her parents to stop the car on the roadside, have a look at the forest along the hillside. So there were different types of trees, several small and big plants growing close to each other and some climbers growing up to the tall trees tops. So she stops the car. So she asked her parents to stop the car and she once looked at that hills and the forest area. She observed the different plants, some big trees and small plants and some climbers she observed. So at the village, grandpa would take her into the orchard which looked like a forest with so many mango trees and the small plants growing under them. The difference was all trees here grew in lines and were of the same kind. So here in the orchard she observed that some big trees are there, under that some small plants are grown. So she has that doubt. So again now every morning after breakfast grandma would pack a knapsack with some snacks, a bottle of cold water and a flask full of coffee. Pushpa was so fond of the orchard that she would love to spend the whole day under the shade of the trees. She could hear birds chirping with squirrels, watch squirrels running about. Next, people moving around, grandma's goats wandering to feed on small plants, some insects flying about. Grandpa always used the right insecticide, a chemical to kill insects to keep the orchard free from them, yet some were always left. It was indeed such a wonderful place. So here what happened, the orchard was very wonderful. So here the Pushpa was enjoying that nature. So her grandmother gave the lunch box with some materials and again the snacks and water bottle, cool water bottle packed to her, and again they took that and they went to orchard and she liked to spend in the shade of the mango tree, and she observed that some insects and squirrels and some other insects and some other animals just like goats she observed and she was enjoying it. But here her grandpa was spraying the insecticides to kill the pests or insects. Now Pushpa had just passed her class 6 exam and had been pondering over a question in the question paper which was, what do trees give us? So here the question, she was finishing the 6th class examination. So the question was, what do trees give us? So again in the answer she had written about several things as well as shade and cool air. Was she correct? So shade and cool air also given by the plants. Was she correct? Yes, she was correct. Next, do we feel cool under the shade of the trees in an orchard? Yes. Make a list of things that you know are obtained from trees. We have to make a list. Next, grandpa's orchard. So Pushpa always wondered how these mango trees had grown in Grandpa's orchard. Grandpa explained that it was great-grandpa who was given a piece of land in the forest. The forest area had to be cleared to grow the mango saplings, baby plants and develop it into orchid it was today. So her grandfather gave the place to him to develop this orchid. So at that time the plants were very small and now it is grew as orchid. Next, there must have been wild animals then in those days. Inquired Pushpa. So Pushpa inquired that in olden days there were wild animals. Yes, of course, great-grandpa along with his brothers and other villagers had to beat drums and use lighted fire torches at night to drive away the wild animals. So in those days they used some other materials to drive away the animals, wild animals. They used lighted torches and fire torches. These are they used. Next, where did the wild animals go? Where do they live now? What happened to the trees that were already present there? Do we always destroy forests to grow orchards or crops? Questions after questions poured out and Grandpa had a lot to answer them. So she was asking different questions. So question after question she was asking. Grandpa was taking time to give answers. What forests are? Pushpa asked her friends and relatives to find answers to her questions. These are some information given to her. In ancient times, the country was famous for its dense and continuous forests like Dandakaranya, Panchavati, Nallamala, etc. were big forests. But with the advance of civilization through ages, most parts of these forests are gone now. So now these are not there. Forests have been cut down at a very fast rate in the past 100 years and replaced by industries. Orchards, plantations of fruits-bearing plants or those needed for timber or other economic needs, crop plants. So these orchards are cleared to make that crop plants and other timber depot like that. Timber means wood cutting places. Next, the natural habit of a forest is lost when forests are cut down. So natural habitat was destroyed. Already we studied a tree as a habitat in the 6th class lesson. Tree as a habitat. So here we are destroying so many trees. So many organisms are losing their habitat. Several types of organisms disappearing because of losing their habitat and food materials also. There are forests only on 19.3% of the geographical area of our country now. So in our country now how much it is there? 19.3 of the geological area contains the forest. Next, a forest is a community of trees, shrubs, herbs and other plants and organisms that cover a large area using carbon dioxide, water, soil, nutrients, etc. So forest community of trees is a community of trees and shrubs, herbs, next and other plants and organisms that covers a large area. Okay, so and it contains, they use carbon dioxide, soil and water and they prepare what? They prepare food for themselves. This is called what? Photosynthesis. Next, forests collect large amount of carbon dioxide and some other harmful particles, gases and keep the air clean. They serve as lungs of our air. So here we can say that the plants are the lungs of our air and they are the universal food providers of our. They are also called as universal food providers. Next again, forests are renewable natural resources which play an important role in the maintenance of ecological balance. They may maintain the ecological balance. So we have to plant plant more trees. They are an important source of timber, fuel wood, cane, raisins, land, oils, fruits, nuts, firewood, fodder for animals, and honey. So these all materials get from the plants only, trees only. So we have to conserve the forest. The forests also have wide varieties of the cultivable crops and medicinal plants. Next, if affected by a disease, the whole forest area is not destroyed. They provide habitat to wildlife. Forests help to control soil erosion. They help in causing rain. They keep the surrounding cool. So these are all the uses of the forest. Next, Pushpa was quite confused. There were so many things written about forest. She could not understand some parts such as how forests maintain ecological balance, how they could be the lungs of the earth. She could only make out some common things about forests, which are: forest is a place where there are many different trees are there. It is a home for wild animals. It also decorates the world. It is a very airy and shadowy place. We should not cut them to build factories, buildings, etc., or to grow crops or for orchards. We do not cut down that all. Next, what is your opinion about forest? We need not to cut the forest. Next, why do you think forests are called lungs of the whole earth? Because they take in carbon dioxide and they give out oxygen. So the main oxygen is important for all living beings for breathing. So that's why we call that forests are the lungs of the earth. Next, in what way is an orchard different from a forest? So orchard is different from the forest. See, orchard contains only one type of plants growing in such area, and the forest contains so many variety of plants and the trees, and there will be the wild animals also, and they are not protected by human beings. These orchards are protected by human beings. So this is the difference between orchard and forest. Next, in what way is an orchard different from forest? Finished. So next, again here, Cassia, Tangedu, goat's horn, mangrove, Gugila, and rosewood, Yogina, bamboo, Rhododendron, etc. as well some trees are grown in such area. And next, here we have given one chart. So this chart you have to see. The table is given, that table you have to see. Forest area, animals that live in the forest, types of trees. So Ituri Nagaram. So the Bhupalapalli districts in this forest area, tiger and chinkara, antelope, sloth bear are present in this. Types of trees: teak, sal, tamarind, amla, neem. Next, Bhadradri Kothagudem. The animals are tigers, panthers, hyena, deer. And types of trees: tamarind, amla, neem, acacia, teak, rosewood. Next, again here, Mahabub Nagar. In Mahabub Nagar, tigers, deers, chimpanzees, python, bamboo, snakes and foxes. Next, types of trees: tamarind, amla, neem, tangedu and bamboo. Next, again Adilabad, elephants, tigers and monkeys are there. So types of trees: tamarind, amla, neem, tangedu and aduku. These are the plants, and teak trees also available in Adilabad. So here tangedu means here goat's horn mangrove means Gugilaram. So rosewood, so Yogina bamboo and Rhododendron, etc. some other plants are there in such areas. Next, in next video we are going to learn about next topic. So in this lesson, and we are going to finish the chapter also.